Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome or welcome back to Soap Floor. I'm your host, Jess, still viewing and reviewing the soapiest, suzziest primetime storyline of 1985. They got my girl, they got her. We are back in Denver on Dynasty, so whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 35 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, you can be cool, quiet, or kicked out because we are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soap Floor. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome and welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Floor. I am so glad you're joining me today. I'm not going to lie. I was so tired. I was fist fighting sleep all day at work today. Several sips of coffee, several sips of 5-hour energy. Did it work? No, not at all. But suddenly I remember I get to come home and watch Dynasty, and all of a sudden I'm revised. I'm reignited. Almost said reignited. And then I was going to sing reunited and it feels so good, which I guess we are. Baby, it's time to get to the bottom of this. I hope you have a stiff drink. I've seen about half of this, and I feel like we're getting the New York Undercover, the buddy cop drama, and I'm here for it. Also, I have a theory about Steven. So go ahead and pour yourself up something bubbly and bright as we jump into Season 5, Episode 7 of Dynasty, called, I did not even get this, Amanda. Oh, I love when they do that. Okay, so we got a new character alert, Amanda. Okay, one thing's for certain, two things for sure. Number one, my sense of time is a little bit warped today. I've watched all of 15 minutes of this. Getting on here talking about, I watched half of the show. I have not watched half of the show, nowhere near. Well, I've watched half of the show. At the top of the show, we see Dexter entering the holding room or the community room, the family room, whatever you call it, visitation at the detention center where his paramour is locked the F up because the trial went completely off the rails. Needless to say, Alexis is in shock and she's in shambles. She tells Dex, for the first time in my life, I'm for real scared. Oh my gosh. Well, she didn't get to get too far into this scene before Adam comes bursting in the door and he's like, Mother, don't even worry about it. I've already filed an appeal. And then I went and got 2 other dudes to help me file appeals. They're the best appeal people in the whole world. We're going to peel this back and get you back to life, Mommy. Dexter finds this to be the perfect opportunity to one-up Adam. It occurred to me as I'm watching this scene, these are the 3 most dramatic characters on this show, period. Alexis has on her Elizabeth Taylor, aka Mother of the Church wig. I'm not making fun of it like that. I understand that was a style. It looks very good on her, but it is a very specific wig she has on it. She don't care if she has 2 inches of hair or 2 feet of hair. She's going to shimmy and shake that every time she talks. Now, and also, where is she finding this high gloss, lip gloss, and lipstick combo in jail? Beside the point. Adam is dramatic. Alexis is dramaticer. And is Dexter the most dramaticist? Let's find out. Adam announces that he's going to file an appeal, and he went and got 2 dirt appeal dudes to help his mother. Dexter's like, well, you wouldn't need to file an appeal if you hadn't flubbed this whole trial. This is all your fault. You was messing up left and right and left. Now you want to come in here talking about appeals. This is all your fault. I don't know if Dex had dozed off during the trial. I feel like Adam was doing a pretty good job. His mother was on a roll, firing people, deciding how many enemies she had. And you know what? She fired him willy-nilly. He didn't really do nothing. She fired him. She felt bad about it. They already made up. Dex was clearly not in the private room when that happened. But Adam is also not one to be outdone. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Are your initials AC? Is Blake your daddy? This is an A and B conversation. Why are you here? You're not even family, Dex. Didn't you just get up 2 days ago? The reality is, Alexis rules the roost, and she decides who comes and goes. And at this moment, she needs somebody to help her escape or to be freed from the shackles of this lie. Sorry, y'all got a little distracted. So Alexa says, hey, cut out all that arguing. If we're going to argue about anything, it's how quickly I'm going to get up out of here. Let's put it, whatever happened behind me, we need to talk about the here and now. How we going to get your girl up out of here? And X is like, you're right. Adam, I'm sorry I popped off on you. I'm just really stressed out right now. I'd really love to help you. Help him with what, you ask? Adam says in the most basic of terms that there's clearly some evidence that was missed. We need to go back and look through everything. I think that's what an appeal is. And also, this probably should have happened before the trial. But I understand things happened really quickly. They had to do what they had to do. Not to mention Alexis left the country, held up this whole operation. Okay, so Dex ends up leaving. And when he goes out of this little room, there is this very sophisticated looking woman in a cobalt blue cape and dress. She's got Aunt Terry's toddler and tiara hair swooshed back and flipped up. So that tells me what? If you've been listening to Soplo for any amount of time, I have a couple theories when I see people come in the room. This woman looks sophisticated. She's actually kind of young looking though. Dexter couldn't take his eyes off her. He goes to, I guess, get his driver's license back from the lady at the front desk right outside the visitation room. And this woman is asking to see Alexis. And the officer lady is like, well, why don't you write your information down? And if Alexis wants to see you, then she will. If she won't, she won't. But her and Dexter have a moment where they just staring each other up and down and up, smirking and stuff. I guess I get it. Dex is a free-ish man. Him and Alexis like to cheat on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just looking. My neighbor's gonna get punched. Do y'all hear this beepity beep, 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 beep? It's late. It's not that late. I tell you what, it is difficult to find a time to record. I feel like I have to do it really early in the morning, but the birds are outside having like a convention every other day. You hear this? I'm leaving this in. Anyway, Dexter's looking up cobalt blue up and down. Okay. She's got the Aunt Terry shoulder-ish length swoosh back toddler and tiara hair. She looks expensive, but she also looks kind of young. So I'm going to say this woman is in her 20s. She looks younger than Tracy. And I hope she's a little bit more significant because Tracy last season also got her own episode. And I just don't really feel like she made that huge of an impact on the show. They ain't coming outside. This is what gets on my nerves. At this point, everybody in America has a freaking cell phone. Call whoever you honking a damn horn at. Do you hear this? I swear for God, if I have to put on my slippers and go outside, someone's going to get a stern talking to. I'm actually going to text my neighbor like, yo. Get it together, or I'm going to keep your mail. I actually won't. I don't know. I'm assuming because Alexis is on trial, the whole world sees this. So I don't know who this is coming out the woodworks, but she looks expensive. Miss Lady has shoulder length hair, which leads me to believe that she is someone's wife. Although, like I said, she looks young. I just rewound it. She didn't look as young as I thought. She's definitely like mid-20s, maybe 27. She's got expensive clothing on. I'm thinking she's a wife or she is somebody's, what's the word I'm looking for? She's somebody's heir. Maybe a competitor. Maybe Cecil got a baby. I don't know. Yeah, it's about time for these damn Colbys. Anyways, yeah, it's about time for the Colbys to start rolling in, right? So I'm assuming this girl is woman, not a girl. This is definitely a woman. Is Cecil's love child or one of the cousins or something. I kind of forgot about the Colbys until now, but she looks way too expensive to just be nobody. The next scene was incredible. I have to say, despite Alexis being behind bars, despite her being a little bit of a bully, Claudia has never looked better. Being bullied by Alexis into a highly fashionable wardrobe is a prize in and of itself. Y'all know how I feel about the stallion, but she has never looked better. So her and Steven are in there. I thought it was their apartment for a split second. Like, I totally forgot that they moved back to the mansion. They're chilling in their bedroom and Steven's on the phone, still wheeling and dealing. Remember that. Claudia has on this off-the-shoulder number, and I'm not an insecure woman, but suddenly I'm questioning how much shoulder I'm showing. I feel like I need to be showing a little bit more shimmy, shimmy shoulder, at least in the privacy of my own home. I literally have nothing off the shoulder. I'm going to have to fix that soon. I can't tell if this is her nightgown or if this is, I mean, it's not a pageant gown, but it is quite spectacular. It's just like this off the shoulder silk white, let's call it a gown for the sake of this argument, because if this is just her day wear, then damn. Damn. Stephen is being a little bit ableist. Once he hangs up the phone, Claudia tries to comfort him. Honey, you're working a little bit late. Oh, excuse me. I'm talking way too loud. Claudia talks like Billie Eilish sings. You gotta whisper it almost. Stephen, don't you think it's time to get off of the phone? Claudia, I'm going crazy. That's a little insensitive considering this woman has spent quite a bit of her adult life inside of a sanatorium. I understand, Stephen, but you had to throw your mother under the bus. You had to tell... Sorry. You had to sell her up the river. How else are you going to make a living? Stephen, I know you're upset about your mother, but you have to relax. You have to forgive yourself. Claudia, I can't. I'm going crazy right now. I've got to do something. What's his face has an oil well somewhere that I need to buy. Flatlands, blah, blah, blah. Claudia gently reminds him, Stephen, your jailbird mother fired you. You ain't got no job. What do you mean you're going to buy flatlands? This is where I start looking at Stephen out the side of my eye. It's one thing to say crazy in front of a wife you know has actually gone crazy. That's cute. But it's quite another to say this. He said, technically, my jailbird mother can't fire me because she is indeed in jail. And unless she can call a board meeting, I here run Colbico. And that's what I need to do for my mother. I'm going to continue to run this Colbico. And if I can buy her these flatlands, there's all this oil up underneath it, she'll be happy and wealthy, but also in jail. Is this whole good boy, this whole nice guy thing been a shtick this whole time? I think it is. Claudia says, darling, please don't burden yourself with this work. Like I said, you ain't got no job. Your mother fired you. And you need to come to terms with being such a good man. It's who you are. It's a piece of yourself that you need to understand. That is the weirdest sentence I've ever heard in my life. You need to get over the fact that you're a good person, Stephen. So what if you put your mother in jail? She had to go. Stephen needs to remind the audience that he too is sexy despite being a backstabber to his mother. He begins unbuttoning his shirt and says, speaking of peace, why don't you come over here and break your boy off some? Claudia says, I know you lying. I'm sorry again. I know you lying, Stephen. Why don't you ever want to talk about anything serious? He's like, sex is very serious. And right now, I could use a little. I think her hair is done too nice. Her outfit is killer. She is not in the mood to roll around in a sack with him. And maybe she didn't take quite enough medicine today. She seems a little bit lucid. So she tells him no. And he, of course, gets pissed, walks out of the room topless. Meanwhile, not back at the mansion, back downstairs, Dominique Devereaux has made it to the Carrington mansion. Blake and Crystal are having her over to say thank you so much for cutting that $70 million check. Your boy really needed it. Okay, so I'm starting to notice a theme here with Mrs. Devereaux. She is always in cream, gray, some kind of gray. For a second, I felt like she was wearing like a choir robe. Like a choir director robe, but I'm like, okay, this is the 80s, yeah, this is the 80s, this is what she looks like. But in the back of my mind, I keep singing, Lord, send a revival, Lord, send a revival, and let it begin in me. Sister Devereaux is walking quietly through the house and like, Blake, thank you, this is so cute. So once again, they end up in Blake's study, where champagne is poured and quickly passed to the pregnant lady. Wow. Blake's like, you can have a little bit of a sip, baby. Let's go ahead and toast to my success. Crystal, I want to thank you for all the love and support that you've given me, even when the chips are down. And all I'm thinking is that love didn't pay not now, Bill. You need to toast the woman who dug you out of a rut, and you can thank your wife privately later. That's just my opinion. He turns to Dominique, and she's like, let me guess. Thanks for the money. He's like, well, you know. Yeah, man. She goes, okay, well, why don't you explain to your girl what you're going to be spending my money on? Blake points to here, he points to there. Kentucky's drying up. Alaska's not quite where it needs to be. So I am going to start drilling in Odessa, Texas. No shade, y'all. I know Odessa very, very well. I also can read a map, and there is no way in hell that that is a map of Odessa, Texas. Nowhere close. But it made me so happy. I'm like, oh my God. I know this. Yes, I said Odessa, Hodeezy. Everybody. It's a wonderful little town. Love it. If you watch Landman's in Midland. Odessa is the next city over. It's literally like 10 minutes away, kind of morphing into one each other. Anyway, in order to drill in Odessa, Texas, Ector County, Blake's going to need even more money. Dominique is like, okay, well, I'm all tapped out too, brother. I can't really do any more for you. And he's like, I wasn't asking you for money. I can get the money from the banks. Can you, though? Let he and Crystal tell it. Everybody is pumped that they're back in business. The phone's ringing off the hook. Everybody wants a piece of Blake Carrington because he's that dude. Time will tell. Once Dominique leaves, I decide her outfit is actually pretty cute. But once she leaves, Blake's like, okay, well, what do you think of her now? Crystal's like, I don't really know. I don't know if I can trust her. And I'm with Crystal on that. Dominique clearly has a plan. But so does Blake, because tell me why he has already hired somebody with Dominique's money, Dominique's get out of jail money, and he has hired somebody to look for Rashid Ahmed. He wants his head on a platter immediately. I forgot that if you are going broke, you probably don't have the means to hire PIs and boss people around. Like ain't nobody picking up the phone if the check's not going to clear. So now that it'll be interesting to see what Blake does going forward. Okay, I'm going to persevere and just push through and watch the rest. Dex has a conversation, but I get the feeling I need to piece that together, because if he and Adam are going to be working on getting an appeal, then I'm just going to let that play out. But Adam has the unfortunate responsibility of alerting Alexis of Blake's come up. Alexis has access to the newspaper, so of course she reads about Blake's comeuppance. Adam's trying to give her the lowdown on her case and the appeal, and she's like, I just can't figure out for the life of me how Blake is putting his life back together. Meanwhile, I am rotting away in this prison detention center. Adam's like, oh yeah. You remember Dominique Devereaux? And she's like, the who? He's like, you remember? They're not saying the black lady. He's like, you remember? Oh, that lounge singer? Lola Falana? Yeah, I remember her. She bailed him out. She was like, that lounge singer? He's like, that rich lounge singer bailed daddy out. I had a little bit of a revelation during this scene, because Alexis is a lot like me when I get really, really hot. I don't mean angry. I mean temperature-wise. If it's 105, my waters ran out, I've been sweating, or I'm standing in a line, all of a sudden, everybody I know is my personal enemy. You heard me talk about a weeble. My heat weebles are weird. Like, I have to take a step back afterwards. I'm like, girl, you were acting up. You tripping. I'm ready to declare war in Home Goods, because I feel like somebody's playing with the AC, personally attacking me. Alexa's like, oh my God. I wrote her off as a nobody, McNobody, but all this time she was setting me up. She's trying to play in my face. She wants to ruin my life. I don't see the full connection there. I really, really don't. I have to remember that Alexis does not know the backstory, but also that ain't really have nothing to do with you. But Alexis, with the straight face, is like, I was trying to ruin Blake's life. Her coming in to fix it ruins my life, so she's now my enemy. Girl, if you say so. Alexis, of course, shimmies and shakes that 2 inches of hair. Gotta get me out of here. I'm going to suffocate. I love it. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, her terribly depressed, sex-starved son is whining and dining sleazy Mr. Oklahoma, whose name escapes me. I think it's Lombard, something like that. Stephen has pulled out all the stops. There are 50 servants walking around. There are silver trays. There's lamb. There's this. There's salad. There's champagne in the middle of the day. And Mr. Sleazy Oklahoma's like, yo, this is so wonderful, dude. I tell you what, you set your boy up right. This suite is top tier. I appreciate the chambermaid, the private jet I have at my disposal. Man, this is living it up. You must really want my land. Stephen's like, I absolutely do. Oklahoma drops a little bomb on him. He's like, oh, you are some kind of son. First you put your mother in jail. Now you want to buy up the same land your dad wants. Stephen looks absolutely not devastated, but actually disappointed. Like, dang, man. Well, I didn't know my dad wanted it, but I'm doing this the way he would. I'm going to give you a fair deal. Why don't you slide it over to your boy? Oklahoma is intrigued. He says, is that so? So you didn't know your dad was trying to buy this property from me? Stephen's like, I did not, but I mean, oh well, business is business. Oklahoma sizes him up and he's like, what can Colby Co. offer me that Denver Carrington can't? Stephen basically says, in not so many words, Colby Co. ain't broke. We really have money. Denver Carrington, they're getting there, but they're not quite where Colby Co. is. Aren't you quite comfortable there, Stephen? I'm starting to agree with Oklahoma, and I don't like that I'm agreeing with him. Was this a clever ploy? Was this the plan all along? Honest to God, I've been wanting this. Like when I first met Stephen, I really did want him to be like a proper adversary for his dad. And he has the opportunity now. I hate this because his mama's behind bars. But this could be very interesting. I'm just not a fan of this sleazy Oklahoma guy, but I do like that he's stirring the pot a little bit. Okay, I'm going to shut my mouth, finish the episode, and come back with a full synopsis. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more organized because I'll know what's going to happen. Plot twist. I, in my haste, had forgotten that William December Williams is on this show, a.k.a. what's his name? It ain't Barry. God, it's not Barry, it's not Blake. What's this fool's name? It's William December Williams, Billy D. Billy D comes into Miss Devereaux's home. And I'm saying it like that because she says, a husband is not supposed to stop by his wife's house unannounced. She is a little bit upset that he did not make the proper appointment. It looks like she's fresh out of the shower, about to jump in the shower. She's got on this peach towel. He don't give a damn about sending the proper greeting. He says, Dominique, what's this I hear about you selling your casino and 2 nightclubs for millions and millions of dollars without telling your husband? I had to hear about this. Why I got to hear about this? Why didn't my wife tell me? She's like, oh, well, Blake needed some money. Why are you giving Blake Carrington money? She decides to lay it all out. I, Dominique Devereaux Lloyd, a.k.a. Millie Cox, lent him said money so that he can gain his kingdom back. Once he has his kingdom back, I'm just going to snatch the whole thing out from up underneath him. 'Tis mine, sir, and the whole world will know that I am a Carrington. William December Williams, a.k.a. Brady Bunch, is like, you did this for revenge? This is really dumb. It's not dumb, and I'm not worried about revenge. I am worried about taking what is rightfully mine. She mentions a little bit earlier that she was the cutest little illegitimate child on the block, so the woman already knows her worth. Seems like from a baby she had an idea like, you know what? You can reject me all you want. I'm going to slide you a little money. I'm going to let you go ahead and regain everything you need. Then I'm going to yoink, snatch it from underneath you. So, do I retract my previous statement about Alexis overreacting? Not really. I would say they're not really enemies. Because doesn't the old saying go, my enemy's enemy is my friend? They both want to see Blake destroyed, but also they both want what he has. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is official. She is a villain, and I love it. But is she a villain? Is she? Is anybody really? Well, Brady, to my surprise, is like, so you saying to me, what you're saying is, you can lend him the money, you're gonna wait till he's back on his feet, then you're just gonna snatch it all from him. She's like, yes, and we're gonna have the world by its tail. She calls the world a tiger or something. She goes, think about it, Billy, Blake, Billy, Buddy, whatever the hell your name is, Billy D, Brunt, what the hell, Brady. Think about it. When everything is done and it's mine, she stutters stuff. She says mine. And then she's like, we'll have everything. You and I will have everything. It'll be amazing. And he's like, I got to admit, that's not a half bad idea. I wonder what he is to her because it seems like her eyes were open when they were kissing. I have it paused, that's why I know that. I don't know. He seems supportive, but she was still really secretive, so maybe he would have stopped her. Okay, seriously, guys, this time, let me go ahead and try it, watch the whole thing, come back when I'm done. Okay, I have learned several very important things this episode. First things first, this might be my favorite episode of Dynasty ever. This trumps the attack on Peter the filibuster in the airport. This was even better than Jeff reading everyone for Philip at Cecil's birthday party. This episode also made me realize, Dynasty, I can't stand y'all. You could have given me 100 guesses and I would have never seen this play out the way it did, sort of. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. I believe the last thing I was talking about was Miss Dominique Devereaux and Billy D. Williams, aka Mr. Brady Lloyd, having a little discussion about the way she spends her money. And I say her money because it has become abundantly clear who wears the pants and the purses in this relationship. The next time we see Dominique and Mr. Brady, Dominique is fresh off the phone getting some information from her dirt dude. What she has found out is that while Brady was away, he wasn't jet setting the world being this record producer. He's actually been fired, I suppose, or let go. Seems like he was managing some sort of alternative rock group. Wait, no, you wouldn't be alternative in the 80s. What is it? Like a punk rock group, I guess? Sounds like it didn't really work out. Sounds like they jumped ship. Not that they're not going to make it, they're just going to make it without him. So he has depleted his funds, which makes sense as to why he was so upset that she sold all the money. It also makes sense as to why he's kind of okay with her toppling Blake's dynasty and absorbing it for herself. Let the record reflect. She said when and then she corrected herself, when we take over. But then in this scene, she wants to know, why didn't you tell me, Brady? He's like, girl, how I had told you. What were you going to do? You going to loan me the money? I know you weren't going to loan the money. And she looking at him like, I mean, you're not wrong, Brady. You see, if Brady has 4 apples and Dominique has 6 apples, how many apples does Dominique have? She has 10 apples. If Brady has 0 apples and Dominique has 6 apples, Dominique don't know broke boy Brady. That's how this relationship works. She's just looking like, sucks to suck. But yeah, you're right. No, I would not have lent you any money. I just wanted to know. Just like she just wanted to know that he was coming. Announce your presence and announce your net worth, and we're going to be just fine. Seems like everybody's marriage is a little bit funny this episode. I feel like Steven and Claudia are not necessarily trying to break up, but they're adding more and more attention to them. This feels a little bit like it does on Falcon Crest when Melissa and Cole kind of go through their stuff. Like it's kind of coming out of nowhere, but it could just be a little bump in the road. I also say that because it is abundantly clear that it is hard being Claudia the Stallion. So she's at La Mirage running the ish out of this hotel, minding her business, when she hears a group of just kind of yokels cutting up over in the lounge area. She looks over, doesn't really see anything interesting, but then she notices that one of those voices sounds familiar. It completely lacks any swag, or nothing about it is enticing, and she's like, oh my God, Jeff's here. And not only is Jeff here, he's drunk. Jeff decides he's going to saunter over to her to say, hey girl, how's it going? And she's like, I don't know, how is it going? You don't seem like yourself. He gets defensive. He's like, are you trying to say I'm not taking care of responsibilities? I see my son every single day. She says, I'm not talking about your son. I'm talking about the drinking. You have fallen in love with the bottle, Jeff. When are you going to get some help? When are you going to get some counseling? I know you miss Fallon in the horrible, terrible, very awful, bad way she died. He's like, ain't nobody sad, Claudia. Dang, you mind your business. She's like, okay, listen. I don't yell because I am drugged up all the time. I just need you to know that if you need somebody, I'm here for you. Do you know what this man says? He hears this as an invitation. See, Jeff is smelling himself, as they say, because now he seems to be the creme de la creme. He has taken over Mark Jennings' role as the himbo at the Mountain High Hotel, La Mirage. He says, oh, Claudia, how are you going to help me? You're going to take me to bed? Remember that time we slept together? My God, Jeff. She's like, dude, please. I banged you one time so I can get a set of keys so I can break into an office and take pictures of maps. I have no interest of boning you ever, ever, ever again. That's why it was a one and done, my friend. Please don't be full of yourself. He's like, you're right, you're right, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Jeff is still drinking. Apparently he's into the group thing. He's at a table with like 4 ladies and a dude. I don't know what they got going on, but everybody seems very, very happy about what is supposed to happen next. All right. Someone who's a little bit blindsided this episode is our girl, Crystal. Crystal is also wearing the choir robe 5000 in the privacy of her own home. I'm letting her get a pass this time. I don't know if she saw Dominique's outfit and thought, you know what, that's cute. That looks comfortable. Listen, pregnant bodies are changing. Her boobs are getting bigger. Her stomach's getting bigger. She needs room to grow. She can't be in all these corseted, tight, fitted. No. Especially not in the privacy of her own home. So she comes back from an event dressed like... Amen, amen, amen. Like she's in the Mississippi Mass Choir, to stumble upon Mr. Oklahoma in her home. Lombard has slithered back into the mansion. Actually, that's not accurate. Blake has invited Lombard back to the mansion so he can buy that property down in Odeezy. I suppose Blake is feeling himself because he's dressed exactly like Mr. Rogers when he comes home. You know, he likes to put on the bright cardigan. And he knows that Lombard wants to, quote unquote, apologize to Crystal. Now, this is where we part ways even farther, Blake. Crystal needs to feel comfortable in her own home. So when she sees Lombard, she's not going to switch it up for you. She's not one to front. She don't like him. She doesn't say, what is this bozo doing here? Because he turns around with the, oh, hi, Crystal. I just wanted to say I'm sorry that you took my personality the wrong way, and I'm sorry that you misunderstood me personally. I want to make it up to you. He begins to open this jewelry box, and it is clearly that sort of plastic jewelry. I bought this for my niece time and time again. Big, fake scammer jewels. Not even scammer jewels. These are Temu scammer jewels. They're plastic. Crystal looks him up and down and up, and she's like, you see this Missy Elliott balloon choir robe I'm wearing, right? Notice I have on very petite, very demure earrings. Do I look like the type of woman who wears gaudy plastic jewelry? Because I don't. Why don't you take your jewelry and do something else with it? Lombard is offended. He has the nerve to be offended. And do you know who else has the nerve to be offended? Blake. Blake, this man tried to bone your pregnant woman under your roof. The guy lets Blake know, you can go ahead and forget about Odessa. I'm going to go ahead and go with the other option in this, which is Steven. Blake begins to chastise Crystal. He's like, you know, Crystal, I'm so disappointed in you. She's like, disappointed in me first and foremost. I didn't know he was going to be in my house. What did I do? He's like, I'll tell you what you do. You just blew a business deal for me. I'm starting to think you might be bad for business. Now it's season 5. She's bad for business. Last season, you decided she needs to be your PR person with absolutely no previous experience. But now she's bad for business because she won't let the man who tried to fill her up and down back into her good graces. Let's move on to the main event. I was feeling the buddy cop routine between Dex and Adam. However, many things can be true at once. They can have a good cop, bad cop. They can be good at solving things together. They both have an abrasive personality, but Dex's refusal to back down and Adam's ability to put together arguments and put together clues with him being a lawyer and whatnot, it pairs well together. So the plan is that they're just going to revisit all of the evidence. Neither one of them believe that Alexis did this. So they're like, okay, 1 + 1 has to equal 2. And in this case, it doesn't really feel like it is. So we got 2 witnesses. We got Steven saying he looked up and saw his mom. We got the neighbor lady from across the way saying she saw a woman out on the balcony. We need to figure out who this is. Who is everybody looking at? Where's the best place to convene and figure this information out? Alexis's penthouse. That's another thing that keeps, the theme here that keeps coming up is while Alexis is out, everybody is using all of her amenities freely. They go all the way to her house, I guess, to look at the balcony, but they're like, we already here. Let's go ahead and pour a little drinky drink up. So as they pouring it up at the wet bar, tell me why police station girl comes sauntering, and I do mean sauntering like she lives there, down the upstairs steps. Dexter's like, hey, that's the girl up from the police station. I've seen her. When I tell you this girl is walking as slow as she could, she might as well be walking backwards. And they just shouting at her, hey, hey, she don't give a damn. She walks slowly to the elevator, pushes the door. Nobody makes chase. They don't go grab the girl. They don't even call the police afterwards. This is the difference between a detective and a security guard. No shade to either. One is meant to serve and protect. One is meant to observe and report. And that's exactly what Dexter does. So the next time he sees Alexis, he's like, yeah. This is where we're at in the case. This is who we've talked to. The lawyers are doing their thing. Alexis informs him that, well, Adam is talking to X, Y, and Z. He's doing this, that, and the third. Dexter's like, oh, by the way, there was some girl in your house. Really? Alexis is like, what girl? He goes, oh, I don't know. She was real sexy, real young, real beautiful in the face, and talking about these long eyelashes, sultry eyes. Ill na. And Alexis is like, oh, she's starting to look uncomfortable. Would you say she had blonde hair, high cheekbones, slim figure, around 5'3", etc.? Dexter's like, yeah, you know her? She's like, no, never seen her in my life. I am snuffling some of the details, but you understand what I'm saying. She clearly knows who this is, and he's clearly feeling whoever this is. But they did nothing to stop this girl. So that's just sort of dancing in the back of Alexis' mind. She goes, oh, she must be one of those reporters or something. I'm super popular now. You know, I'm that girl. I'm all over the news. So she could just be one of those think piece writers. Dex is like, yeah, that's probably it. No one is disturbed that Alexis's penthouse has open access to anybody. Nobody is clocking this. Dex decides it's time for him to go do some research himself. So he goes back to La Mirage. And item number 5 that I discovered on this episode is that everybody hates Mark Jennings. Every man, that is, who worked with him or lived near him couldn't stand him. Why? Because he's taking all the women. So one of the bartenders in the gold lame vest explains to Dex that, listen, none of us like him. He looks around, there's nothing but dudes in there, and they're like, yep, word, no, nobody likes him. Only people he hung around with were the wives of the men who work here, and occasionally he did tennis lessons with a dude or two, but I don't think they liked him either. Now, I'm not saying I'm glad he's dead. I think it sucks that he was murdered, but I'm also very happy that he's not around. It's like, I hate that that's the way he went out, but am I upset that he's gone per se? Not really. So Adam and Dex deduce it. Okay, Mark had a lot of enemies, but not a lot of friends. Do any of these people want to kill him? Doesn't really seem like it. Matter of fact, the only consistent, somewhat sort of friend that happened to be male that keeps coming up is Senator McVeigh. Now, this makes sense because that was a guy, I kept thinking it was Morgan Hess who stopped Alexis on her way to Fallon and Jeff's engagement party. But no, it was the senator. I forgot. And he also had open access. So all this time I'm thinking, oh, it's the private detective, but it's McVeigh. So that name is out there. I think the audience is already thinking that's who it is, right? So we all know that. But they need evidence. It's one thing to know something. It's one thing to know and be able to prove something. Dex and Adam decide it's time to talk to rich lady from across the way. Now, I love this lady's old lady outfit. When you're going to spend money, you're going to blow money, you want to be rich, you need to do it right. This old lady knows how to rich right. And she's accommodating. So they go over to her very fancy penthouse apartment and they're asking her about this party she had. And she's like, look, if you're here for trouble, please let me know now so I can go ahead and call my lawyer. They're like, no. We don't want any trouble at all. We just kind of want to pick your brain. We're running into all these dead ends. You seem to have the clearest view of Alexis's apartment. So we're just wondering, maybe someone else saw something. Maybe something will jog your memory. So she's like, oh, okay, that's cool. As long as I ain't here to start none, won't be none. Yeah, I threw a party for my niece Elizabeth, that's TT baby. And we were having a good time. I took some Polaroids here and there. We had cake, we had champagne, we had a time. Adam says, oh, hold on. You said you have Polaroids. Can we look at them? She's like, oh, yeah, sure. What this old lady is not saying is that she's nosy. I'm sure she takes Polaroids all the time. She ain't admitting it. Nobody's saying it. This is me inferring it based on the evidence in this program. As they're looking through the photos, they come across one that is of the balcony. One of the guys gets a bright idea. Let's just go get this blown up so that we can maybe get a better look at what's going on. Madam, can we please have the negatives? And she's like, of course you can. I think she's got some personal pictures in there. She's like, let me set up me a little young teen. Maybe I can set up me an appointment later. Dex seems to like older women. Let's see what I can get going. And I mean, why not? She's got Sega Genesis money or whatever it takes to keep a young man happy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the best part of the episode. Adam and Dexter take the negatives to a photographer. They are in a proper, almost a green room, red room, developing room, whatever they call it, dark room. This gentleman is able to blow up the photos, and they're still a little bit grainy, but then he zooms in even further, and bingo, we have all the evidence. I actually forgot a little piece. I need to rewind just a bit. A little earlier in the episode, Dex goes over to Alexis's penthouse because he knows that Adam is over there, but when he gets there, no one's there. So he's calling for Adam, and then he goes out to the balcony and he sees a woman in a cape looking over the balcony. Adam comes releasing himself from the shadows. He's like, no, it's not my mother. Turns it around, is a mannequin. Alexis happens to keep an Alexis-faced mannequin at the ready. Adam went into her wig closet, which is so disrespectful, put a wig on it and the cape, and he's like, you see what I'm saying? Anybody could confuse this with my mom. Well, you could confuse a mannequin to be Alexis, which you should not do. All right, y'all. So Adam and Dex are done playing games. They're going to go confront Mr. McVane because they have some damning evidence. They go to his house and this man is drunk as a skunk. He's slurring all his words. He's swaying back and forth. And they're like, look at this picture, B. Put it in his face. Bam. They turn into the audience and I die. See why they got Mark Jennings on the balcony drinking his final cocktail, and right behind him, McVane is dressed like the mom from Psycho. Remember when Norman? I haven't seen the old one, but I have seen the one with Vince Vaughn where he put on his mama's clothes. This mother lover has went into Alexis's personal wig collection, to me, which is the biggest crime of this whole thing. I mean, rest in peace to Mark Jennings, but you put on my wig? You put on my church lady Elizabeth Taylor wig? You know it was $600 and a cape, and pushed a man off a balcony to frame me. If I was Alexis, everybody in Denver's head would roll. How dare you mistake me? How dare you mistake me for a drunk pedo senator? Well, he has no choice but to confess. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I broke into her house. I bought a wig. You didn't buy a wig. You took her wig. Why is the same wig showing up 2 and 3, 16 places? I put on a wig and I put on a cape and I just heave-ho Mark Jennings. He was supposed to destroy her for me. You know what? You get 50 years for the murder of Mark Jennings, but you get 150 years for putting on my hair. That is unforgivable. Doesn't matter though, because free at last, Alexis Carrington Colby is free at last. She is out of the clink. She is celebrating by dressing like a teddy bear. I don't know why she put on every piece of fur and suede in the greater Denver area, but she did. She out on bail, fresh out of jail. I guess in case the Paps got her, she wanted them to see this fly $9,000 fur from every single angle. So she walks into her apartment looking like Teddy Ruxpin, talking to Dexter. He's like, oh, you can hook me in. They're having a good old conversation. When from the balcony that is always left unmanned and wide open enters Little Miss Police Station, and she's dressed like Edward Scissorhands. I say they look like a teddy bear in Edward Scissorhands. She's definitely wearing the girl version of Johnny Depp's outfit. But my husband said that Alexis was dressed like Chewbacca and the girl was dressed like Darth Vader. Watch it and settle the argument between us. I see Johnny Depp. I see Johnny Depp and Teddy Ruxpin or Smokey the Bear. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Dex is like, damn, there go police station girl again. That's the girl I was telling you about, Alexis, remember? And she's like, oh, yeah, I know her. Listen, Dexter, why don't you go ahead and skedaddle? I'm going to go ahead and talk to this girl, this anonymous girl that I happen to remember from a time ago. So Dex leaves, and she's like, I thought you were supposed to be in school. Baby girl says, well, I was reading the papers, and I seen you splashed all over, and I thought you might need a little help. It's the least I could do for my mother. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. I was very shocked very, very shocked. But then I recall the night of Fallon and Jeff's would-be fiance party or engagement party, Alexis did say that she had 4 kids and then she corrected herself, talking about she had a miscarriage after Stephen. And I remember Blake said that that didn't happen. I remember that, but I mean, I didn't remember it. I hadn't thought about it since. Alexis had a whole secret daughter. I'm trying to figure out how old she is because Dex said she was about 19, 20. I see 27 in the face. No shade. I don't see a teenager. That seems like a sophisticated young woman. Alexis had a baby. Not only did Alexis have a baby, Alexis had a baby and raised said baby. Or at least knew about said baby. Baby seems to know who she is. So Amanda, I almost said she's not a Colby, but she could be, right? She could be Cecil's. She could be the person who Blake beat up to death almost. Beat up to death, girl. Whatever. But either way, we got a new girl. My other thought is, are we really replacing Fallon like that? She had a backup daughter? Because this episode too, Alexis told Stephen. Okay, so Stephen comes to see her earlier in the episode to tell her that he's trying to buy some property for her. She goes, I don't know why you're at Colby Co. because you ain't got no job. I fired you. He goes, no, you can't fire me without calling a board meeting. And since you're in jail, I'm still there. She goes, well, I don't have a son named Stephen Carrington Colby or Stephen Carrington. I don't understand how Stephen Carrington could be head of Colby Co. You don't even exist. How are you going to wipe this kid's whole existence off because he pissed you off? Mind you, I'm on your side because he should have held it down. He should have been like, I saw something. I don't know who that was. And that's another thing. All y'all are seeing Mr. McVeigh and you thought that was me, my son. Yeah, you still unowned. Not unowned. What's the word? I don't know what the word is. It's not. She's going to go to the hospital and be like, yeah, I gave birth about 26 years ago. I'd like to return him, please. And make sure you wipe his name off the records. I don't know no Stephen Carrington. So she has a replacement daughter. She done got rid of a son. Adam is hanging on by a thread. He's trying not to mess up anything lest he be disowned one more time. But my goodness. New character alert. I need to know if she's a Colby. When the heck are these Colbys coming? All right, guys. That was good. That was so good. I think I need a chaser. I'm going to wash this down with, I'm going to put on a movie and clear my head and decide how I feel about this new addition. Is this she and Blake's daughter? How do you have a whole daughter and disappear? She would have to be the youngest, right? She would have to be younger than Fallon and them because I feel like this would have come up before now. All right, guys, that's neither here nor there. Thank you for joining me on another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I hope you had as much fun as I do. Remember to watch this episode. Let me know what you think. Reach out to me via text in the show notes if you're listening to this on your mobile device, or you can send me a good old-fashioned email at soaplorepodcast@gmail.com. That's soaplorepodcast@gmail.com. I'm not sure what I just spelled, so I'm going to spell it again. soaplorepodcast@gmail.com. Watch the final scene and let me know if you think Alexis looks like Teddy Ruxpin, Smokey the Bear, or Chewbacca. And does new girl Amanda look like Edward Scissorhands or Darth Vader? In the meantime, in between time, a lot of foolishness can be avoided if you lock your doors. Alexis needs a security system. Don't be like her with your home safety, lest you end up on trial. And in the Denver Detention Center, drinking sink-warm champagne and day-old caviar. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.